On the coldest morning of December, a trembling little girl in scuffed red shoes stood in front of the towering glass entrance of a billion-dollar corporation. Snowflakes clung to her tiny eyelashes as she looked up at the powerful CEO, an untouchable man feared by thousands. She took a shaky breath, clutched her worn backpack, and whispered the words that froze the entire lobby. "Please, please don't fire Mommy." No one knew that this moment, this innocent plea, would unravel secrets, challenge power, and change Christmas forever. Chapter 1: The Whisper That Broke the CEO. The day had begun like any other inside Hayden Industries: fast footsteps, ringing phones, polished floors reflecting ambitions and fears. The company had been struggling, and CEO Alex Hayden, known for his strictness and icy composure, had been preparing to cut costs before the year ended. Among the employees walking on eggshells was Maya Collins, a single mother who worked tirelessly as a junior accountant. She was the kind of woman who arrived early, stayed late, and still somehow made time to read bedtime stories to her 8-year-old daughter, Lila. Maya never complained, never asked for help, and never let her exhaustion show, except in the quiet moments when she thought no one was watching. But layoffs had been looming for weeks, and Maya knew her name was on the list. That morning, Maya had left home early, thinking Lila was still asleep. But the little girl had been awake. And she had seen something that broke her heart, her mother silently crying while packing her old purse. Lila wasn't supposed to follow her. She wasn't supposed to know where the big shiny building was. But love makes children brave in ways adults forget. So there she was, standing in front of the CEO himself, who had just stepped out of his sleek black car, face red from the cold, fists trembling. Employees froze around them, unsure whether to intervene. Security hesitated. No one dared speak. But the little girl's whisper was loud enough to echo inside Alex Hayden's chest. "Please don't fire Mommy, she works so hard. She never buys anything for herself, only for me. Christmas is coming, and Mommy says Santa might skip us this year, but I don't mind, I just don't want to lose her smile." Alex felt something unfamiliar lodge in his throat. This wasn't the begging of an employee desperate to keep a job. This was the raw, unfiltered plea of a child trying to save her world. Maya came running moments later, breathless, mortified, pulling Lila close and apologizing again and again. She expected anger, reprimand, maybe even immediate termination. But Alex said nothing. Not to scold, not to comfort, not to decide. He simply watched them, the mother's trembling hands around her daughter, the love that needed no words. For the first time in years, his icy walls cracked. That night, Alex couldn't sleep. Not because of the company numbers. Not because of the board meetings. But because of that whisper. Because once, long ago, someone had begged for his future too. And he remembered what it felt like, to be one decision away from losing everything. Christmas was approaching, but instead of warmth and light, the building felt colder than ever. Something had to change. And it began with one child. Chapter 2: When Christmas walked into the boardroom. The next morning, the entire company buzzed with rumors. People whispered, glanced over their shoulders, wondering if the CEO's heart had finally softened or if the little girl's plea would be forgotten. Alex called an emergency meeting. Executives filed in nervously, expecting anger or cost-cutting orders. But Alex stood by the window, hands in his pockets, staring at the city blanketed in snow, silent, thoughtful. Human. He turned, voice steady but different, warmer. "We are not laying off Maya Collins," he said firmly. "In fact, no layoffs this Christmas. Not one." Confusion rippled through the room. The CFO objected, charts in hand, numbers projected on the screen. "We can't afford that, sir. The company is bleeding money. Emotions can't run a corporation." But Alex raised a hand. "Maybe emotions can't, but people do." He thought about Lila's red shoes, her trembling voice, her courage. Something inside him refused to ignore it. "We find another way," Alex continued. "We restructure, we postpone upgrades, I take a pay cut, and anyone at my level who disagrees can resign." Silence. Shock. And then, something else. Respect. For the first time in years, Alex wasn't just a CEO. He was a leader. Later that day, Maya was called into his office. She walked in nervously, expecting the worst. Her hands were cold, her heart pounding. But Alex didn't talk about mistakes or layoffs. He didn't mention the lobby incident to embarrass her. Instead, he said quietly, "Your daughter loves you very much." Maya's eyes filled with tears. "And you're a good mother," he added. "You deserve job security, not fear." It was the first time anyone in power had said something kind to her in years. Alex offered her a stable position, a raise, and flexible hours for Lila's school events. Maya's voice cracked when she thanked him. But the biggest change wasn't the job. It was what happened next. For weeks, Alex found himself visiting the accounting department more often, checking in, observing the warmth Maya brought to her work, the way employees gravitated around her positivity. He realized something simple yet profound. Sometimes the strongest people are the ones carrying their worlds quietly. As Christmas neared, Alex met Lila again, this time in the company's holiday charity event. She ran up to him with a handmade card, messy handwriting and glitter everywhere. "Thank you for saving Mommy's Christmas," she said, hugging him tightly. Alex froze. And then slowly, awkwardly, hugged her back. Something inside him healed that day. Something he didn't know was still broken. Christmas Eve arrived, warm lights glowing across the city. The company had transformed, hope replacing fear, smiles replacing tension. Maya spent the evening at home, tears of gratitude falling as Lila opened her small but meaningful gifts. Across town, Alex sat alone in his penthouse, holding the glitter-glued card, realizing for the first time that success meant nothing without human connection. Maybe this year, he didn't have to spend Christmas alone. Because one whisper, one child, one moment of courage, had changed everything.